What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video, and I had my opinions of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, I thought it would be for it. I was a purist. I was not fan of the misguiding marketing for it and the way they manipulated the market in order to try to spin up interest within maybe a 2.5 variation of Final Fantasy VII, more a sequel, a weird alteration, whatever you want to call it. I was not a fan of it. I played the game. I ended up liking it. I like it a lot. I find it very fun. I find it very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to finally being able to play Rebirth when it finally comes out for PC, which will be like a year and a half from now. But on this channel, I've been pointing something very valid out, which sucks. I'm not going to mince words here. This whole situation sucks majorly, and there's no way to actually spin this correctly and actually try to fix any aspect of this, because you could say it's selling great via digital, but there's no data to actually back that up other than somebody saying it's selling great on digital. That's literally it. I've looked at it. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has sold around 2 million copies, PS5 player data suggests. Now, you might start off thinking, hey, that's 2 million copies, that's great. But when you actually start digging into these numbers and how this is panning out, it's actually kind of crappy, because you come over here, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales reportedly aren't going too well, because the reality is, at this time, when it came to Remake, it was selling 0.5 more. Like, it's selling half as well as Remake did. Rebirth has basically sold nowhere near as much as Remake did. And that is very sad to see and sad to hear. And when you come over here to comicbook.com, you see this. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales continue to be substantially less than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sales for Square Enix Final Fantasy VII Rebirth continue to be far less when compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake, when the second entry in the Square Enix Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy launched a little more than a month ago. Early data indicated that it didn't get off to as strong of a start as the first installment when it arrived back in 2020. At that time, it wasn't known if Rebirth sales would pick up more strongly in the weeks after its release, but we now know that this doesn't seem to be the case. And again, people are going to come out and say, well, the online sales are doing great. The online sales are doing great. The online sales are doing great. The problem is, even if the online sales are doing great, that's not going to help out this game whatsoever. It's quite honestly very easy to see as to why these sales aren't doing good. Easiest one to point to, besides, fans being upset from Final Fantasy VII Remake, besides all the bad PR Square Enix has drummed up over the years, and also the very bad one that dropped just before Rebirth came out, with censoring Tifa. The easiest way to explain this is there's not that many PS5s out in the world as compared to PS4s. When Remake dropped, it was at the tail end life cycle of a PS4. There's PS4s everywhere. Anybody could get a PS4. Easy to get. On top of that, it was 2020. We were in the midst of a major lockdown and things of that nature, worldwide lockdown. And it was a whole lot easier. You had a whole lot more people staying inside, playing games. So when the game dropped, obviously a bunch of people just ordered it, went to go play it. Some of them had a good time. Then you had the people that were like, hey, we got scammed. We didn't like what we got, so on and so forth. Your math starts adding up. So when you take into account the people which is honestly a larger chunk of the fan base than people want to give credit to, the people that are truly annoyed with the fact that they got sold a bill of goods that wasn't actually what they were promised. Then on top of that, the fact that the PS5 life cycle has been abysmal. Let's not mince words here. This has been an awful life cycle for a generation of consoles. Outside of the Switch, which the Switch started before the coup, you've had issues getting consoles left, right, and center. Xbox Series and the PS5 have both been struggling to actually move their consoles left, right, anywhere, what you can say. And the system, other than the Switch that has been selling really well, you don't really call it a gaming system, has been PCs. More people are going to PC gaming. More people have been enjoying PC gaming. During the lockdown, a whole lot more people got PCs. A whole lot more people said, you know what, we're going to start PC gaming, because you get more access to a bunch of video games. And then you started seeing that. So more people left the console market. more people weren't as interested in the console market, and it shows on why this game isn't selling well. On the flip side, you get to get in, again, this is maybe apples and oranges, but just follow the logic here. You get a game like Helldivers 2. Okay, I get it. It's not the same genre. It's not the same aspect of the game, but that's besides the point. Helldivers 2 sold both on PlayStation and on PC. You get, on top of that, you take a look at maybe Palworld, for example, sold both on Xbox and over on PC. The reason is PC markets are dominating right now. PC is the way to go. You need to start throwing your games on both console and PC, unless it's a Switch, which Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo's going to do, but on your other platforms, you got to do that because you have a bigger market share now over on the PC itself. Then on top of that, you've heard it. You just heard it. It was just a few weeks ago, we got told that, hey, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be coming out to PC here soon. And guess what? Final Fantasy 16 sales data was lower than Remake as well. But the moment it comes out for PC, you're going to see that sales data start skyrocketing. The biggest issue Rebirth has isn't just bad PR, isn't just fans saying we're out because we don't like what you did with the game and selling us a bad bill of goods. The biggest issue that they have is there's no player base for the PS5. Let's not mince any words here. That is the biggest issue that comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And it's so bad that even in Japan, they don't have anybody playing it. Now, when it comes to the Japanese market, the two biggest consoles, the biggest console really in the Japanese market is always the Switch. The second, which air quotes console, is PC. PlayStation isn't dominating over in Japan. It's a Nintendo Switch and then your PC. So the fact that your own home, the mothership, the mother base, the home of Square Enix isn't able to push the game the way they should be able to push it because nobody's really buying a PS5 anymore. All they need to know is that in a year's time, they'll get the game over on PC, probably for a little bit more expensive, but with more data, more information, with the DLC attached already. They only have to wait a year and a half to get the game. They'll wait. They'll let the console players get it, and then it's gonna cause issues moving forward. Games aren't gonna sell as well. It's not gonna push as much data, and you're gonna see a drop off. It's just simple math. It's simple business. They did it to themselves as well. And you could have seen this coming from a mile away when it came to the Final Fantasy 16 sales data. Final Fantasy 16 sales data was below Remake as well, was below everything. And a lot of people threw this off as, it's not 7. It's not 7. It's a brand new title. 15 did amazing, but it really hurt a lot of individuals and what they wanted to see within 15. Like the story wasn't so good. Final Fantasy players aren't the fondest of 15. I'm indifferent. What isn't here or there. But it's not 7. It's a brand new title. But now we're seeing that in retrospect, 16 is probably going to have much better sales data the moment it hits PC, while 7's going to keep slipping until it hits PC. It ultimately means, the long and short of this is, all Square needed to do was release it out on PC along with PS5, and they would have seen probably, I'm not going to say exactly the same sales data as what they saw with Remake, but a very similar chart as what they saw when it came to Remake. A lot more individuals would be buying it. A lot more people would be sitting there playing it. More people would be streaming it. Myself, I would be streaming it right now if I had access to it. But I have to wait a literal year just to play it because I don't want a PS5. There's not a whole lot of games on PS5 that I actually want to go play besides this and 16. And I'm about to get 16 here in a few months. So it is what it is, guys. It sucks to say it, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is struggling when it comes to sales. But until next time, guys, let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.